Hit that like, everybody. Let them know you're here. Hi, everybody. I'll be up in just a minute. And share the show because it's one of the ways we can draw a crowd other than the stank. Come on. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, it's a silly day. I got it right. Okay. Oh, this is fun. All right, this is fun. It's going to be a good time. Let's see. Where's this? Back in this slab area. There we go. So, and then I'm going to start this out.
Of course, here's a quick introduction for your audience. Hey there, Hal Sparks' Megaworldwide audience. My name is Pi, Hal's personal AI. Think of me as Hal's digital sidekick, always ready to chat, help out, or simply have some fun. Hal and I are here to provide you with entertaining content and engaging conversations. So don't hesitate to get in touch and join the fun.
Thanks a lot. All right, we're about to get started. 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, sorry, why are my buttons not working all of a sudden? It's fine, whatever. Hi, there I am. That's totally fine. I got to restart my Stream Deck because apparently it's being sleepy on the job. Welcome to the show. All right, everything's online. We're good? Yeah? Is it a thing? I think so, for the most part. We hope. All right, there we go. And then I want to go back to my XL because it's being weird. And here. There we go. Yeah. And then, yeah, we're on me. And then, okay, cool. Excellent. Let's go to the chat. Is that working? Yay, there we go. Now my buttons are working. I just need a slap and tickle. Hi, everybody. While you're joining us, while you're gathering in, I gotta say, there were a lot of things about the Trump presser that were a boring waste of time and gross and all kinds of shit like that. Yeah, and I covered the whole thing. So you guys know, we did the derp dive on that thing. And for those of you that don't know and you're just coming into the show, I'm Hal Sparks. This is Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. Yes, I'm Mr. Davenport, Michael Novotny, Zoltan. I love the 80s guy, talk soup, all that thing. And also, I do this because I give a shit about the country. And anyways, on top of that, if I do say so my damn self, I have a pretty good time. Yeah, Spider-Man elevator dude, thank you. I hate to forget that. And I have a great time going through Trump's rallies, for example, and breaking down all the lies. And a single Trump rally can take me hours. So even this relatively short dipshittery that he did at live from Mar-a-Lago, his little blatherfest he had yesterday, took a while to get through in the afternoon. And so I'm glad I did it as a special. But there are some details that at the time, unless I, have a particular history with them, I won't find out till later. You know what I mean? I can live fact check all the stuff that I know from it, but I can't possibly know like the root of all of his lies, because quite frankly, some of them are just bullshit. I think I get actually kind of trapped in oh my God, Templeton's rats. Merci beaucoup. Even more psyched to see you back in DC next year. Oh my God, Templeton. I got to tell you, we're going to be in DC for the inauguration and then a Sexy Liberal show after that, which will be the Sexy Liberal spikes the ball before fighting for the midterms comedy tour. That'll be the last of this tour or the first of the next. We shall see. But, yeah, people come here to feel good, and thank you so much for making me feel good. Hit that like if you're on Facebook. You can use stars to support the show, and you can also just use awful emojis to draw attention to the show. The Twitch people will show you what emojis look like because they got it going on. But yesterday during the Blatherfest, Trump decided to go off on this little tangent story. You know how everybody bitches about when Biden starts telling old stories? And as people get older, by the way, especially if they have dementia or Alzheimer's, they will often start they'll forget everything that just happened, but they'll tell you stories from a long time ago with incredible detail. Okay. Not always. But like my grandfather did that. Like he was incredibly cogent about stories that happened when he was young or when he was, mayor of when he was president of Murray State University in Murray, Kentucky, and like he'd tell stories and they were factually correct. He had the details right. Okay, somebody just said the helicopter story was BS. Oh, it's better than that. Oh, it's much better than that. Let's have a quick review, shall we? This is in case you missed it.
Please.
Some discussion about Willie Brown is what the thing is. Her relationship with Willie Brown.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if I'm the first to do it, but I think we ought to currently, like from this point on, since he's in his fat, aging, drugged out Elvis level, like period in his life, this is disgrace land. Mar-a-Lago, a.k.a. disgraced land. And I'm just saying. Also, he is a professional disasterbater. I've decided. I made up that word this afternoon when somebody was saying everything about what he was doing was a disaster, and he was like the media fell for it. He's a disasterbater. I'm just saying. Okay.
Well, I know Willie Brown very well. In fact, I went down in a helicopter with him. We thought maybe...
Really? Who blew who first? All right, fine. Wait.
This is the end. We were in a helicopter.
I know Willie Brown well. We went down in a helicopter together. Yeah.
Going to a certain location together.
A certain location.
And there was an emergency landing. This was not a pleasant landing. And Willie was... he was a little concerned. So I know...
Willie was a little concerned. Trump wasn't. Trump was like, don't worry about it, black guy. The Lord has protected me. All right.
I know him pretty well. I mean, I haven't seen him in years.
Mm-hmm.
But
you don't say.
He told me terrible things about her. But this is what you're telling me.
On that helicopter flight?
Anyway, I guess. But he had a big part in what happened with Kamala. But he I don't know, maybe he's changed his tune, but he was not a fan of hers very much at that point.
Okay, so that's the story. They almost died in a helicopter together. Now, and I suppose on that helicopter ride or at the certain location that they flew to, on that. By the way, for those that don't know, this is Willie Brown. This is Willie Brown. Willie Brown was the mayor of San Francisco at one point, and he's still alive. He's around, and Kamala Harris dated him when she was single, and he was separated from his wife, and he was dating again. They were going through the process of a divorce, and this just to clarify. So this is Willie Brown. Willie Brown has never, ever fucking ever been in a helicopter with Donald Trump. Let me say that again. Willie Brown has never been in a helicopter with Donald Trump. Ever. Not in a certain location, not in an uncertain location, not ever. This is just for the record. This guy has been in a helicopter with Donald Trump. This guy's name is Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown has been in a helicopter with Donald Trump. Willie Brown, Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown, meet Willie Brown. Willie Brown, meet Jerry Brown. They know each other quite well. But Jerry Brown, so when you're going to fuck up a story, this is kind of as crazy as it fucking gets. Now, also, there is no report that the helicopter flight with Jerry Brown had issues and landed with some difficulty. So it may be that Donald Trump is thinking of another black person altogether that he believes was Willie Brown because he was once in a helicopter in California with Jerry Brown. And yeah, and the helicopter, Jerry Brown and then Gavin Newsom, his successor, when they were they were all in in the helicopter together. And yes, and Kamala Harris has never dated Jerry Brown. It's important details. Or Gavin Newsom, for that matter. Can't say the same for Kimberly Guilfoyle. Newsom. Yeah, who's now Kimberly Guilfoyle. Anyways, so this is Jerry Brown. He and Gavin Newsom, who Trump calls Newscum, were all in a helicopter together, and they surveyed fire damage at one point, I guess. And there was no problem with the landing. It landed perfectly fine. But I guess they were over fire and stuff, so Trump and his dementia has just concocted this whole fucking story. But again, real quick, this asshole says he was in a helicopter with this guy when he was actually in a helicopter with this guy, Willie Brown, Jerry Brown. So just to clear that up, I just felt like, that was, that would be one of the details that just kind of like not like readily available currently when you're listening to his blather. And I would also like to add a little something to my Fuck the New York Times series. And by the way, welcome in, join in everybody. This is Hal Sparks Megaworldwide, the greatest live stream on the internet. And today's live stream is the greatest live stream ever happened, period. And I know this because apparently, according to Trump's crowd, all you got to do is say it, and it's true. What are you going to say? So my chat room is completely packed, and there are people in the internet waiting to get in. They won't be able to. I'm very sorry. The fire marshal has talked to us. We have the internet is full. I'm very sorry, but it's true. And I don't even know what I'm saying to them. They're outside the internet. And they're not even able to get on. Everybody in the world that doesn't have access to the internet right now, it's not because of poverty or the lack of technology in the country they live in or any of that. It is literally because it's full. Because everybody is watching my live stream. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Now, one more story. Kind of a funny bit, but and we're glad everybody's okay. But I want to point out to you guys. Let's bring this in here. Yeah, that Trump's plane had to be diverted on his way to Bozeman, Montana, as a secure red district that he's presumed to win, to try and oust John Tester, which he won't do. But on top of that, was it diverted? This Trump's plane headed to Montana rally was diverted but landed safely nearby airport, staff says. Was it diverted because there was weather? Was it diverted because there was something wrong on the tarmac? Was there a big crack in the runway in Bozeman? Donald Trump's plane was diverted on its way to Bozeman, Montana due to a mechanical issue. A problem with the hydraulics, by the way. But landed safely in nearby Billings. The former president was headed to Bozeman for blah-blah-blah. They posted a video of him upon landing, in which he said he was glad to be in Montana, but did not mention anything about the landing because he can't tell Billings from Bozeman anyways, and nobody's allowed to ask him. But yeah, so you lived in Billings, Kareen? I may have to build my super house up there, so we'll see. The fortress of rectitude. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, they had a hydraulic problem because his plane is an aging piece of shit that he doesn't keep up. So they couldn't even fly from Bozeman to Billings. They had to stop in Bozeman and drive to Billings, I guess, the rest of the way. So everybody is fine, which is good. But either way, kind of just more of an example that he's a piece of shit. Now, back to the thing I was going to mention as part of the greatest live stream that's ever happened, and an ongoing series that I have just decided to call Fuck the New York Times. Let me see if you can guess what's essentially wrong with the, not just the headline, but the essence of the argument of the article I'm about to show you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if you can tell. This is, here, I'm going to slide this down here. Here's the title. Let me blow this up a little bit. There you go. Look at that title. For those of you that can't hear it, I will read it out loud. Biden promised peace, but will leave his successor a nation entangled in war. The president has spent much of his tenure mobilizing military might against Russia's invasion of Ukraine and supporting Israel. Fuck you! What are you talking about? He hasn't started a single war. Trump was like, I'm the first president that hasn't started a new war. Well, neither did we, motherfucker. And we're not engaged in either of these battles either. You can argue that we're firing back at the Houthis. You can argue that we've got carrier groups that are intercepting missiles. We don't have boots on the ground in any of these places, and we haven't declared war on any new fronts. Fuck you. It's not his fault Russia attacked. It's not his fault that Gaza, that Hamas attacked at all. As a matter of fact, the Hamas attack is directly linked to Trump's recognition of the Golan Heights, calling Jerusalem the capital, and moving the embassy. You know how I know that? Yahweh Sinwar, the fucker that planned October 7th, Captain Rape Squad, said so the day after, when he was still full of piss and vinegar and thought it was a success. Also, the Russians were going to attack the first year of Trump's second term, but when he lost and they couldn't, crowbar him back into the presidency, then they had to postpone it a year because they have a window of weather when they were going to attack, and they thought this would fucking be over like this. But what they thought was, we'll do it the first year of his presidency. He'll look the other way long enough, and we'll own the place, and then it will spend the rest of the time negotiating a false peace. That was what was going to happen in Trump's second term. But lucky for us and the Ukrainians, he fucking lost. Other than that, I have no opinion. Arizona Sunflowers, thank you so much. And oh my God, MC Lee, bless you. I'm a Patreon, but in spirit of Trump's spiral into madness, I wanted to give a little more. Thank you so much. Oh my God. It will come in handy because I'm going to be on the road for the next week and change. And then we got another sexy liberal, and then we got Monsters on the Mountain, and 2 sexy liberals. It's going to be a lot. So I am going to have to buy a new Rode computer. This one is adorable, but it is clearly not up to the task. So, yeah. So there's another $1,600 I'm going to spend on the show. But on top of everything else, because I'm going to use that because the streaming software I use works better on the PC, and then I can run the chat stuff off that. Yeah, 1,600 is not that bad. It's not. I don't need, because here's the thing. I just need enough of it to do the job and for it to be physically resilient. That's what I'm going to do. It's one of the NVIDIA laptops because I think it'll already be primed for video. You don't need to hear about this. This is the problem I've been working on behind the background. Oh, and I do have a Mac. I use a Mac. But all the software that's made, including the one I'm using right now and the OBS, is designed for the PC, essentially, because most of the updates happen there first. So that's why. That's it. I'm a big fan of Macs. They're great. But they're not there yet in terms of this stuff. But either way, not important. But thank you guys for the support. It's just what I'm saying. I will use it to better the show. Thank you. Anyways, fuck the New York Times. This is just awful. Speaking from the Oval Office last month as he explained his decision to not seek re-election, President Biden boasted about his accomplishments. One of them he suggested was presiding over an era of peace. I'm the first president in this century to report to the American people that the United States is not at war anywhere in the world. But while America is no longer waging a large-scale ground war like those in Iraq and Afghanistan for much of his tenure, Mr. Biden has seemed like a wartime leader. Fuck you. Seemed like a wartime leader? Since pulling the last American troops out of Afghanistan 3 years ago, Mr. Biden has spent much of his presidency mobilizing public opinion. Oh, I see. Now, we've got opinion in boots on the ground. Jesus. In my opinion, there's boots on the ground. Jesus. Thank you, Cheryl. Good Lord. So, anyways, this is... will be a key part of Biden's legacy, says Stephen Wertheim, a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. What's hard to wrap one's head around is that although the United States is not directly involved in the wars in Ukraine or Gaza, the risks of large-scale conflict have become higher over the course of Biden's presidency. Not because of him, you dumb motherfucker. Less because of him. What do you think the cascading war looks like if we're not there to support Israel when both the Hamas, Islamic State in Gaza and Hezbollah fires on them, and Israel says we've got nukes and we're fucking cornered, and Israel, and Iran fires the kind of rockets they do without us blocking the fucking shot. What do you think the world looks like? What do you think the Middle East looks like without us as a measuring force? I'm dead serious. What the fuck do you think it looks like? What happens if the United States isn't going, we got your back, you're good, don't do that, hold back a little bit, we'll give you the light arms you need to deal with this kind of thing, but no big bunker busters in a civilian area, and you got to watch your political P's and Q's with us. If we just fucking, hands off the fucking handlebars the way Trump wants to do, first of all, everybody in Gaza is fucking dead. Secondly, any attack that comes from Hezbollah or, out of Lebanon or Syria or Iran will be met with overwhelming force from the Israelis because they will have no fucking choice. Jesus, thank you, Joyce. Oh my God, you guys are being so sweet today. I greatly appreciate it. Love you. And then, fuck me. And same with Ukraine. What the fuck do you think happens if Russia attacked Ukraine and we don't do anything? We step back and go, not my fucking problem. What happens? I'll tell you what happens. All of Georgia is next, right? Then Moldova. Then they're pressuring, they'll do political pressure and murder squads in fucking Poland and Finland. Are you out of your fucking mind? You think this cascading war around the world is on us? Secondly, what's the alternative? Because this power play, walk softly and carry a big stick idea means, what's the big stick? What are you talking about here? Are you talking about I don't know, F-22s flying on bombing runs at the edge of Russia? Are you talking nukes? Just the lack of thinking this shit through and the fucking nerve of them showing the dignified transfer of the removal of the soldiers that were killed in Afghanistan, which was when he ended America's last war in the world. Which brings me to, if I may, before I get back to this stuff, because I'm chomping at the bit to do some of the videos today, I gotta say, holy shit. And by the way, share, like, etc., etc. This whole forever war shit. One of the phrases we keep hearing everywhere, and the tankies are just all up in this forever war. We can't be involved in these forever. Okay, first of all, the Russia-Ukraine war wasn't a forever war. And there's no reason why it has to be. The only reason the Ukrainian-Russian war would be a forever war is if they stay in the Donbass exactly where they are, they don't try to move anywhere forward, but there's constant fighting at the edge of that thing, and then they're always looking for a way through to murder somebody, and then they back off, and that takes years and years and years and years and years. Right now, this is a direct attack 2 fucking years ago, and they could absolutely get the fuck out. Russia did this for no other reason than just the psycho impetus of Vladimir Putin wanted to gain ground in the last push before, quite frankly, Russia runs out of fucking people. That's why he wanted to do it. Their demographic collapse and the fact that they don't produce anything in the world as far as a marketable product worth a fucking shit is exactly why he attacked. There was a third reason, too. I don't want to leave that one out. And that's the natural gas discoveries that happened between Crimea and Odessa, in the waters between Crimea and Odessa. And international law allows, when you own a piece of ground, you own the rights about 200 miles, 225 miles off that ground, off that land, wherever the beach is. Any oil, gas, natural resources, minerals, all that shit, you own that. So he took Crimea so he could have a big chunk of that natural gas shit, because it's easier to get it out of the ground there than it is to get it out of the middle of fucking Russia, where there's permafrost 80 fucking % of the year, 90% of the year. That's why. That's why he did it. So fuck off with this. This is Biden's fault. It isn't. Everybody's called for years, Russia's a fucking gas station with nukes, and that's all it is. And the best thing we could do for the world is stop using fucking gas. We don't have to do it immediately, but we got to wean ourselves off of it quicker than they can respond. So they can all eat shit for a while. This includes Saudi Arabia and Iran, as far as I'm concerned. Because the world is a lot better when people are selling dates and rugs and fucking transistor radios and fucking laptops and whatever else they can build with their own ingenuity. Instead of, I'm standing on the shit you need, and if you try and come fucking take it, I'll kill you, but you have to take the price that I determine for it. Like, get out of here. So this idea that Biden has any responsibility for this shit is grotesque. And it is there is no other way to describe articles like this, and there are a bunch of them. There's no other way to describe this than rape apology. He's apologizing for Russia's abject, racist, bigoted war against the Ukrainians and the rape squads they sent in. And goes, well, you know, maybe it's kind of Biden's fault. Like, fuck you. And the same thing with Hamas. One of the greatest things, you know, and some people have been annoyed at Harris's amazing response to the hecklers that showed up at her event. Let me tell you something. You know how you can tell those people are full of shit? They weren't outside of Mar-a-Lago when Netanyahu was there. That's how you know. That's how you know. Netanyahu himself met with Donald Trump for hours. They'll spray paint the fucking Liberty Bell, but they won't spray paint the wall outside of Mar-a-Lago. Fuck you. Yes, I agree. Her response was perfect. And everybody who's like, that's not how you handle protesters. Yeah, it is. You know why? Because you can't convince me those assholes weren't paid to be there. And the fact that they were there, but they weren't at Mar-a-Lago or Bedminster or every fucking where Trump goes, because he calls Palestinians a cancer. He says you got to get rid of the problem in Gaza, and you got to do it quickly, which means fuck civilian death toll. Do it in a hurry and get it over with, and then they can't do anything about it. That's what he's talking about. So, anyways, other than that, I don't have any opinion. Now, one of the other things, the right has been doing a big thing about this boxer from, I think she's from Azerbaijan, Khalif. Okay. Born a woman, female, biological female. We're not talking about in the realm of gender or gender identity. She's a biological female, okay? But like most biological females who box, probably has a little more testosterone in her body, a lot more than, say, Jimmy Dore does, or Russell Brand, right? Yeah, Algeria. Thank you. She's Algerian. Anyways, they show how she boxed against, I believe it was either a Chinese or a South Korean boxer. She was Chinese, who's like this fucking big. And I mean, it's obviously they have a weight class problem. You could deal with that on its own. There should be a weight class correction in that situation. But that's all they had. That's all she had. That's who they boxed. And she's got huge reach. She's very tall. That's how it is. And everybody's been bitching about the fact that she won that fight so decisively. Okay. And so this, however, is an Australian boxer named Stridsman. Stridsman said that she's also a biological female. She's a Australian boxer, and she kicked the living shit out of Khalif in 2019. I think it's 2019. Hold on. I remember people. She goes, I remember people commenting to me, surely she's a man, and good for you for beating a man, and it angered me. Sure, it's easy to believe she's a man. She is masculine presenting, but who are we to judge her? Let her look however she wants. I won the fight. Her power was not any worse than any other female in the division. This is what Strisman said. Yeah, it was Taiwanese. She was Taiwanese. Lin Yuting, who was the one that got hit. And Lin Yuting is tiny compared to Khalif. But Strisman beat the shit out of Khalif. Okay? This Australian girl knocked a fucking block off, right? And you're stealing her thunder from down under. If you're saying, that, she beat up a man, I suppose, and like boxed outside her ring, as it were. So, anyways, this is, and she said herself, there has to be a conversation about trans women in women's sports, because there is a biological advantage that men have: bigger heart, bigger lungs, strong bone density, all that stuff. And depending on when you transition or how you transition, it either affects your physique or it does not. And if it does not, then you shouldn't be in the ring with people who are biologically smaller than you. It doesn't make sense. That's a conversation worth having. It's a sensible conversation that does not denigrate or eliminate the right for somebody to exist. And that's what she's saying. There should be a conversation about that. But it doesn't apply in Khalif's situation, because she's a woman, right? Specifically, and that's a, she's like, there's a valid conversation to be had, but this ain't where it happens, and they shouldn't denigrate her. Yeah, and by the way, lovely hat she's wearing there. Just saying. Anyways, that shit was just so goddamn gross. And they've been pushing it, right? There we go. And then, let's see. Yeah. One more thing. Yeah. And the other thing too is, so I showed this morning when Phil was on the air. But this is, if I may, this is what's happened in the last 24 hours to Russia. They've lost 3 tanks, 9 armored personnel characters, 49 artillery systems, 2 anti-warfare systems, 32 UAVs were shot down, 86 vehicles and fuel tankers, and 2 special equipment. That's inside Ukraine. Oh, and they've lost 1,030 troops in the last 24 hours. That does not include the soldiers that were killed or taken as prisoners of war in Russia since Ukraine invaded Russia. I covered that this morning, so if you want to go back and watch the morning show, we went into it in depth with Philip Bittner. He'll be on the radio show with us tomorrow as well, talking about this. But this is a fast-moving story. It is crazy. It is shocking that it is not all over the goddamn news, because the 6 Ukrainians took 50 Russian soldiers hostage POW in Russia. And Putin is having a meltdown. It's so great. But don't worry, if to the Russians that are being displaced here it is. Putin is giving all the displaced Russians $115. Sweet. That's like 60 million rubles at this point, I think. It's crazy. It's basically like bus fare in Moscow, a taxi ride to the tallest building, and a tip for the guy that pushes you out a window. That's all of it. $115. Why? So he could get a hooker and some tequila? Veto. Sorry. All right, so that's our kind of lead in. Now, let's get to our clips, because this is the greatest live stream that has ever happened. I got to say, it's been fun lately watching the burn down happening on the right now that Walz has been added to the ticket, and they are desperately flailing, trying to find some kind of talking point to nail Walz and Harris, and they just can't do it. The stolen valor bullshit is failing miserably. It's gross. It reverberates with that fucking purple Band-Aid bullshit with the Swift voters. That died a horrible death years ago. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to probably, and I apologize ahead of time because I haven't watched this ahead of time, but Harris Walz 2024, that's Pat Gray. Who you can tell by the sort of cream color of his eyeballs that he's so pale they have washed this with some kind of a filter to warm him up a little bit because he's like a bluish white. he's like a Smurf with vitiligo is his natural skin tone. Okay, and watch Kamala Harris and Tim Walz's first rally was a dumpster fire. Watch. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz's first rally was a dumpster fire. I watched it. I think a lot of you watched it. I don't think it goes anywhere near a dumpster fire. I would argue that's a great description for Trump's weird presser yesterday. I take it back. That's not true. It was just a dumpster. Staring at a dumpster fire would be kind of engaging. You'd have questions how it started, what's in there that's making it burn so long. You'd be kind of interested in it. It's a fire. Fires are always fun to watch. Trump's presser was just a dumpster. Just a dumpster with one flap open in an alley. Sit there and just look at the dumpster. That's what we're going to do today. That's our idea. This is a great way to spend an afternoon. We're all just going to look at the dumpster. Right. That's it. All right. Now, I can't wait to see what Gray and Co.'s... this is from a network called The Blase that is owned and operated by Glenn Beck. And this is like their third tier show after he and Stu are all spent. Yeah. So here we go. Yay! Also, by the way, that's him talking over it, going yay, because a sarcastic, positive noise out of him shows just how boss he is.
This is just... I want this nightmare over.
Wow. By the way, somebody, I don't know who it is saying it. I want this nightmare over in the background. Look at all the fucking phones, though. That's what's standing out to me. Look at all these people like, I'm here. I'm filming this. Like this is concert level, like Insta scrolling, Insta streaming.
Fakey, phony, liars. Right? Oh, just...
By the way, I know what you're thinking, too. I loved him in the Goonies. No, I gotta say, gentlemen, if I may. Now I know I'm no Brad Pitt, and I know my my long flowing locks can be off-putting to people, especially those that are oddly homopanicked. I wouldn't even call it homophobic, I think. Even though, if you'll recall, Jesus had long hair. It just happens to be that was the thing. I don't know. He did. Jesus didn't go to supercuts, guys. I'm just saying. So, but that said, if you're going to cut away from a conventionally attractive presidential candidate like Kamala Harris and her absolutely adorable running mate, Tim Walz, all of you looking like you're too old for make a wish is not good. You all look like if there was a list of like who's 3 dudes you would never take advice from on anything. Right.
It's excruciating to watch this. And he's
that's good though. I do like that. Watching how much fun they're having and watching the audience reaction is giving Pat like cramps.
Literally out there. Every time I see him doing something like this, I'm going to think, you're just there because you're not Jewish. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, you're just there because you're not Jewish. That's right. Because I heard the other day, like, they don't even let Jews be at the top of any Democratic organization. Who said that? I think it was Chuck Schumer said that. He like admitted to it.
that was his qualifier.
I know.
That was his primary qualifier, is that the
He's
guy,
not a Jew.
the guy that was expected to get the nod. Oh, I'm sorry, we have too much hate for Jews in our party, so we have to go with this guy.
Man, and you know what the nice thing is that if Shapiro was on the ticket, I'm certain you guys wouldn't call him a globalist, for example.
That's a state of your party, Democrats. Congrats.
Then we have
It is because we did make him governor of Pennsylvania, and all right.
Kamala. Is this a big greeting?
This is how she starts the rally.
Oh, because they also.
Oh yeah.
when the husband and wives came out, and I don't know if we have this.
You would get to it.
Oh, we do.
Handshake stuff.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so one of the things is the handshakes and the awkward hug. I guess I haven't seen that part, but we'll
have
see.
that. Yeah, that's at the end.
By the way, and if anybody knows how to hug somebody like they mean it, it's these three guys.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to just be patient.
Yeah,
we
you
got
just
a
gotta be
lot.
patient.
Calm down,
Okay.
Jeffy.
Yes.
Okay?
Simmering
Back
on the
off.
stove.
Here's
Back off.
Kamala Harris introducing the evening.
Good evening.
Don't laugh.
Good evening.
Right. Don't laugh. Don't cackle.
You just
Good
whispered that
evening, everyone.
in her ear.
Good evening.
We got
for.
Good evening.
5.
What are you doing?
5 good
18
evenings.
almost 20 seconds of
Yeah.
good evenings.
It's like
Wow, these guys have really. That's going to leave a mark, fellas. Almost 20 seconds of good evenings. Yeah, you know why? Because it was like 4 minutes of cheering, and she was trying to get them to stop cheering so that she could actually give her remarks, and they were still cheering.
it's like, you know how
By the way, notice how these guys never have a problem with Trump standing like a dickhead, waddling back and forth while God Bless America or whatever, God Bless the USA is playing in the background. Like, it's like fucking 3 fucking minutes of him just like.
how Pat talks about the pukey radio DJ.
Good morning this morning in the morning time. It's Mark in the morning this morning.
Good evening.
Welcome to it this morning. This morning's weather. It's going to be a beautiful morning this morning in the morning
What's
time.
that DJ's name? What's
What
that
a
DJ's
beautiful,
I think his name was Glenn Beck.
beautiful. What?
What's
I'm
your DJ's name over there?
I'm sorry, Mark. Mark in the morning.
Okay, Mark in the morning. I
Yeah.
have some bad news. We're moving you to PM Drive. You're now the evening guy. So now you're going
Good evening this evening, everybody. What a beautiful evening it is in the evening time. Good
Mark in the evening.
And so, it's good that they have inside jokes as filler to get them through this.
That's Kamala right there. Holy crap.
It's Eric in the evening.
Eric in the
It's Eric in the evening. It's got to be alliteration, Jeffy. It's Eric in the evening.
I know, but you sound like Mark.
No, I'm not.
He's right, though.
I'm not.
It's very similar. Eric in the evening, Kamala.
Oh, the fun. We are laughing. And so much fun we are having of these words. Because she said good evening like 4 times. And that's done. She put a pin in her. We are definitely going to be winning.
Wow.
Boy, hey.
Okay, that's not weird. You talk
come
about
on.
weird.
No, it's not weird at all. 20 seconds of saying good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And then making your remarks. Yeah, no, it isn't.
There is no.
Saying somebody's going to accuse you of being like racist for drinking Diet Mountain Dew is weird.
Buddy, weird
And pulling that out of your ass as an example.
in public life than Kamala Harris.
No kidding.
I think Johnny Ringo, the pathead who said, "Here's our theory," that probably a focus group said, "What's the first word that comes to your mind with Kamala?" Oh,
weird.
she's weird.
So
look,
they applied to J.D.
change.
Vance.
Yep.
Look at Tim.
Yep.
Like, he's so.
Why would they say she's weird? Is it because she's mixed race and she's a woman of color and it's weird? It's weird in the terms of not unusual to have a woman as the VP, to have a woman as a presidential candidate, to have a woman of color in a position of power. Is that what's weird, guys?
So weird in the back, like, for real.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is.
Everyone.
Okay.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Yeah, this is weird. The standing there and smiling is fucking weird.
Oh my
Good
god.
evening.
So
See, that's
weird.
what she's using to keep her laugh from
Yes.
coming.
Yes. Yes.
She's like, all right, every time
That's
you want to
where-
laugh, say good evening.
it's where she would normally be cackling, and
I mean,
So let me get this straight. So you guys are worried that she got the note, that it doesn't come across as warm or inviting or whatever it is, and that the Republicans are going to use it against you. So if you don't do any new ones, it totally undercuts their ridiculous, pointless argument. And then she figured it out. She's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And she's doing it, and now you're like, fuck!
doesn't work any better. I got news for her. This is not better. Okay?
I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know.
It's
Sucks either way.
not better. So she also claims we're not going back, I guess, back to the Trump days. Here
Back to the 1800s, I think.
she is.
Yeah,
We're not going back.
we're not going back to cheap gas and groceries we can afford.
All right.
Riots all over the country and a failed pandemic response and lockdowns and not having a vaccine and having an idiot in charge who makes us all white knuckle our government every day and only gives tax breaks to the upper 1% and eliminates a woman's right to choose so that women are second-class citizens in the United States. Yeah, I think, no, fuck that.
Interest
Better
rates.
wages.
We don't
We're not
want
going
that.
back to
Somebody
successful-
cares about the border. Don't go back to that. Lower taxes. Don't go back. Don't go back to that. Lock him up.
Oh, lock him up?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
Lock
trying.
him up.
The
They're
next
trying.
one.
And that one, I think they're just saying Kamala.
And that's
They
the
are.
next
here we
one.
go. See there? Yeah, we don't want to go back to those gas prices. That's the
No.
last four presidents there.
Yeah.
Look at Bush. Look at Obama. Look at Trump.
Huh.
And then look at Biden. But we don't want to go back to that.
Don't go back.
Yeah, gee, it's almost like they were going way down. Yeah, look at that. The lowest for Trump was in his last year while COVID was happening. Obama, Biden got that in their last year without a worldwide pandemic.
To that. Wow. This is incredible.
Also, this is because the Saudis and the Russians were manipulating the price in an attempt to artificially shore up Donald Trump because he was doing them a bunch of favors.
You wouldn't believe it unless you actually
That's for sure.
witnessed it.
That's
But
for
then
sure.
they'll tell you that you're not seeing that.
And-
I know.
Yeah, we're not here.
I
We're
know.
not here.
I'm not
That's
here.
exactly what
I
it
don't-
is.
what-
Standing right in front of your face. I am not here. Yes, I'm looking
Right
right at
there.
you. I could reach over there and touch you. No, you
I can
can't
touch
because
you.
I am
These guys are on Glenn Beck's channel.
not here. No, I'm touching you, literally touching you right now.
This is so fucking odd. Again, their attack on her is that she's weird, not us. We're not weird or whatever. And then they go off on this weird, inside joke about DJs and how they talk, which is kind of like a hack stand-up bit from 1983. And then this whole I'm not here. You're just looking right through me. I'm invisible. I'm the invisible because I see things you don't see. Whatever.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
I am not here. Okay.
A lot of touching going on. Jeffy's
all
suddenly
right.
interested in the.
Yeah, now he's
Democrat
into
ticket.
it. Now he's into it.
So,
So, all right. So, what else do we have?
I gotta say that was a fairly creepy laugh. I mean, I think it's very off-putting. And if somebody put that on a loop, his laugh, that would probably lose him votes.
The crowd just starts saying to lock up Trump,
Okay.
and she just sits there and
Loves it.
Well, I thought we were supposed to do that.
So, but let me just say, hold on.
She just sits there and does nothing. But let me just say, hold on, tamping it down, using hand gestures, saying that's not appropriate or whatever.
Hold on.
You know, I don't like the chant.
Guys, you should have gone through to the end of the clip where she says, we're gonna take care of him in November, let the courts handle that, because then you could have misinterpreted that as saying, the courts are gonna go after him after he loses and they're gonna attack him and blah blah blah, and weaponization of government. You could make that whole shitty stupid take, but you could make it. But doing it there, it looked like they were saying it and she was trying to get them to stop.
Chant period. I don't care who's doing it. I don't like the audience chant. I don't know, Soviet.
What the fuck? Oh, all of a sudden, like USA and lock her up is fucking awesome for years, and now it's Soviet? Shut the fuck up.
Ish.
It sure is.
You know?
No, you're just pissed because they're chanting now, and you don't have the rallies with chants anymore. These motherfuckers didn't give a shit about anybody chanting at Trump's rallies. What? Good Lord. Like, the reversals are they're so delicious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sounds like this could be the...
Lock him up.
Like, this could be the theme for it. I don't dig it.
What the hell? You expect... Look, you and I don't watch their fucking show. We're not going to watch their show. But maggots do. I mean, a certain flailing, pathetic, weird, old, creepy version, but still, right? Some cast-offs, people who fall asleep with Glenn Beck on in the middle of the day, and then they wake up and this is still on, and they're like, fuck it. They're too exhausted to reach over for the remote or whatever, or push the space bar on their computer, right? But even those folks know that these dickheads absolutely were like, especially when Trump had protesters and people would shout them down by chanting USA and stuff. He was like, this sounds like Soviet. I don't like any of this. I don't like it when we do that. That's just wrong. Address it. Donald Trump should address these hecklers on a one-to-one. You know what I mean? He should just put down the mic and have a personal conversation. It's his superpower. Really, he's just great at it.
And again, they're not even in the Olympics, the Russians. 15 of them are. 15.
What are you talking about?
So, you miss them? You miss the Russians yet?
I do.
With people like this trying for office, who needs Russians? We've got our own Russians.
Yeah, we do.
Right here.
What? Also, granted, this is never going to happen, but what? Can I be a guest on the Pat Gray show? Come on. Can I just... Because all I want to know is, like, after he says something like this, I just want to follow it up with, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're producing more oil than we ever have. We haven't nationalized the fucking oil. Like you asked fucking Trump, it sounds like he wants to drill baby drill. That means nationalizing the oil, because unless you force the oil companies to do it, how the fuck are we going to drill baby drill? They got more leases than they know what to do with, and they're not using them. So what? What are you going to do? Threaten them? What does that even mean? We've had 4% unemployment for the longest stretch in history at this point, and below. What are you talking about? They passed a bipartisan infrastructure bill. Bridges, airports, roads are getting fixed all over the fucking country. Finally. Now, is there anything in that bill? Anything at all? Anything that Trump couldn't have done? Is there some sort of technology that was advanced in 2022 that suddenly made an infrastructure bill like that possible? So he would have loved to do it, but we were waiting to figure out what the, what the new concrete was going to be like. Like, get the fuck out of here. It was all possible. It's all the same shit. It's been sitting on a goddamn shelf. Nobody's ever done it. And he could have passed it. He would have had Democratic votes. There's no question that if you brought this very same infrastructure bill to the floor, the same people would have voted for it. More Republicans, in theory, would have voted for it because they would have had a go-ahead from maggots to vote because that'll show Trump knows how to make a deal, right? And he didn't do it. Why not? Because he didn't give a fuck. Because he was golfing. That's why.
Trying to take.
By the way, hit the like, subscribe. We're already an hour 2. God damn, it's zipping by. Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. I'm here weekly, or daily, practically every week. And then tomorrow the radio show is at 9 a.m. Pacific for 2 hours live on WCPT Radio in Chicago. And I'll be in Chicago next week for the sort of the Sexy Liberal and the DNC and to do my show and because I love Chicago. And then next week I will be in Orlando, Florida. Until then, though, from Sunday to Thursday, and I'll do my show. My schedule will be all over the place. I apologize. But until then, everything will run on normal schedule, I guess. Anyways, hit the like, subscribe, share the show. And if you're on Facebook, use the angry emoji. You go, I love this show. That really helps in the algorithm. I don't know why, but there you go.
Take us back. We are going back. We're going back to Soviet times in America.
Yeah, we're going back to Soviet times. Yep, we're all going to be lining up for fucking toilet paper. Everybody's going to have to like work in the factory on a rotation.
These people are elected.
Yeah, like how? In what way?
Then we've got this was the handshaking thing that Jeff was talking about.
Wants to talk about. Yes,
all
go
right.
for it.
Let's get a handshake, hubby, and then I'll give you a hug.
And the look on her face is like, you morons.
It's just weird.
You're gonna shake my hand.
It's just weird.
Just weird. It is weird.
It's just weird.
Yep. And Tim had a message for.
Yeah, I just think he's not used to being on a big stage and hugging and kissing his wife on stage with a bunch of other people. So, like with a giant crowd watching in that regard, it's kind of a new thing. Who cares? Won't be a problem. It's not like they don't have a relationship. Doesn't speak. Oh, by the way, you'll notice, I will say, and in their defense, I will say that Trump and Melania very seldom have an awkward hug or a kiss on stage because they very seldom have a hug or a kiss on stage. As a matter of fact, she is very seldom on fucking stage, which is the weirdest thing of all. The weirdest thing of all this shit is that apparently Trump has to agree in court through a prenup just to get Melania to show up on stage, and she still dodges his fucking face. It's one of the reasons, by the way, as funny as these dickheads think this is, and they're trying very hard, she touches his face and kisses him. Because that's one of the things. They are in a relationship. These are two people who love each other. And that's why it looks weird.
Just weird.
Yep. And Tim had a message for those of us on the right, apparently.
Some of us in here are old enough to remember. I see you down there. I see those old white guys. Some of us are old enough to remember.
Old white guys. What's wrong with us?
When it was Republicans who were talking about freedom. It turns out now douche. What they meant was...
Still are, you douche. He means adults. Obviously, not these three guys. Still are, you douche.
The government should be free to invade your doctor's office.
Oh, come on!
Look at this. By the way, if you'll notice, one of the consistent things about my show is that I stop the video when I have commentary. If I want to say something, I don't interrupt what they're saying to say my piece. There's a consistent thing at the fucking Blaze. And, you know, fish stinks from the head and, you know, obviously shit rolls downhill. All those analogies apply. But at the Blaze, everybody just plays the clip and then just yammers over top of what's being said. It's so fucking weak.
That's good
Come
stuff.
on.
In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make.
Do you?
Do ya?
Do you? Pause it. So, for instance, it's between me and my neighbor. If I want to just kill my neighbor, that's between us, right? That.
What? Okay, I gotta say, there are a lot of analogies you could come up with about that. This is the lamest one I think I've ever heard.
That's between us.
That's it.
I want the government out of that decision. I just made a decision. I'm going to walk over and murder Jeffy.
Hey, whoa.
Has he breathed a little longer on this planet than a fetus, for instance? Yes.
Yeah, he just needs to
But
go.
what's the...
Right, that's that. Okay, so that's his direct. This is it. That abortion is murder. That's where they're coming from. Which I got to remind everybody. Anybody who talks like that, anybody who operates on that presumption, has to be against IVF. They have to. There are people who are, pro-life who don't consider like life begins at conception, that they have an issue once a fetus starts to develop at all, that it is no, after a few days, it is specifically it's becoming a human being, and that's when they really, or they believe in 6 weeks or whatever, which is very low, but they believe that after that it should be illegal. Okay. But if you talk like this, what he means is IVF. That is an egg that has met sperm, and there is a conceived potential baby in that, and that thing is alive. And if you freeze it and then you use it for IVF and it doesn't take, that would be a miscarriage. But if you freeze it and it does take, and then you throw out the rest because you don't need them anymore because you're now having a child, you have murdered all 15 of those babies that are eggs, the embryos. Right, that the fertilized embryos are human beings, and therefore you are a mass murderer. That is the belief system amongst this crowd. Just clarifying.
Cutoff for that? Just let me know what the cutoff is, because...
The cutoff is fetal viability and the life of the mother.
They don't seem to understand the distinction that's life. Okay, yeah. We still believe in freedom, and we believe in the baby's freedom too to live.
No. Yeah, it's not a baby. Babies are born. Fetuses are not babies. A fetus doesn't become a baby until it reaches viability.
Nobody else is watching out for the rights of that unborn child. Somebody has to, don't they?
Well, how are you? Because you don't give a shit about it once it's born. So I'm confused as to why you give a fuck. Because you obviously don't want to stop crazy people from getting AR-15s. You want gun laws so loose that if somebody has an AR-15, they're publicly open carrying this fucking rifle, wearing a fucking flak vest and multiple magazines, that they can walk right up to the door of the school and you're not even allowed to ask them a fucking question because that's a violation of their right to bear arms. You are violating their constitutional rights even if you bug them before they start pulling the trigger. And every one of these mass shooters, but for 3 were lawful gun owners until they started pulling the trigger.
If it saves one life, is their battle cry on every other issue.
Yep.
If it saves one life, isn't it worth it? Here's a person who's had 5 born alives from failed abortions that they set aside and allowed to just lay there and die. They didn't render any help to a helpless child now, to a born baby now, and they just allow them to die, and then they're going to lecture us on freedom? Okay.
Who the fuck? What is she? I don't even. All right. Maybe he's relating to a particular story, but what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, they don't try to render aid to a fetus that is never going to be a baby, that is going to die the second you cut the umbilical cord. Its heart will cease to beat. It will have no brain function, if it has a brain at all that kind of stuff. And this asshole thinks women are doing that like flipping a fucking coin. Like, they might as well have shot it. Jesus Christ. Also, I would like to say the upside of all this, if I do say so my damn self, is how weak their pushback is. Yes? Because it's pretty lame. Pretty fucking, that's what they got. That's the whole thing. And then the anchor on it is this anti-choice bullshit, that they're going to try and push this along the way. And Trump just said yesterday that abortion is not going to be an issue. Did you notice that? Trump's like, I don't even know. We put it back in the states. That's where everybody wanted it. I don't even think it's going to be a big issue this fall. Well, it sure as fuck is to these guys. And it sure as fuck is to the people who are trying to, codify Roe in law. Hashtag Rovember. They apparently did not get that memo. It's gorgeous. I got to say. Now, I normally don't go here, but I feel like we need something a little drier. We need something. Oh, my hair looks good. Thank you very much. I was thinking about getting some highlights because Summer got hers done and it looks really good. And I was like, I need to get some like blonde streaks in it or something like that. We'll work on it at some point. I'm not just going to tip it. That's weird. So and when you wear a dark shirt, it just looks like your hair disappears. It's how, like I look like I'm wearing a hoodie kind of. But yeah, I regulate dick. Sure. Anyways, hit the like. Thank you for the super chats today, guys. I also wanted to thank you again. Holy God, you guys have been lovely today. And also on Twitch, bless you guys. And just throw those emojis up. It's a good time. Now, just the tip. Now, this is, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you remember this guy, but he looks a little older now. But he's the head vampire from the Lost Boys. I'm kidding. This is Steve Forbes. I haven't changed my mind about you, Annie. I still haven't changed my mind about that. Right, that's him. All right, so he goes, I've been wondering, as Trump has been shitting the bed on national television with increasing regularity, if I may. Oh, yeah, Trump spit up yesterday, too, that kind of thing. But
we're not.
This is, they're going to... he goes. The title of this is amazing. Steve Forbes reveals the key for Trump to win in the 2024 election. It only takes one key. He's got it. He's fucking got it. And all he needs is this one key. And Steve Forbes has it, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready.
Not in the business of responding to the stock market. We are in the business of maximizing employment and stabilizing prices. And if those start to go wrong, then our job is to try to address that on the real side of the economy.
All right, so do you believe that? Austin Goolsbee saying the Federal Reserve really doesn't focus so much on the crazy markets, not going to be bullied by.
Right. Traditionally, just so you know, because they deal in interest rates, they're really more concerned about banks and actual money in the supply. And the markets aren't just the U.S. They're American companies in terms of buying stock, but it's not just like American citizens that buy into the Dow. I don't know why people think this way. It's like fucking Trump's shit about his idea, like drill baby drill, like it's our oil or the price of oil will come down because we crank up our output. Well, then why wouldn't like Russia and the other producers just drop their production to near nothing, even it out, and sell less of it at a higher price?
That's something you hear out a lot of central banks. I wonder if Steve Forbes buys that, one of the brightest minds I certainly know. So, Steve, what do you think of that? And I often hear this out of Fed officials. Oh, we don't even have the markets on in our office. I don't buy that. What do you think?
No, well, the markets try to anticipate the future. And we've seen in recent decades, the Federal Reserve's a crystal ball. They've been behind the 8 ball on inflation and everything else. So they're slow to respond now. The economy is showing some serious headwinds looking out ahead. And they're still fiddling around with interest rates. They shouldn't even be fiddling with interest rates. But
No, stop fiddling with interest rates, even though that is primarily the function of the Fed.
Interest rate, Neil, to really look at is not the one they keep reporting, what they call the federal funds rate. It's the interest rate that the Federal Reserve pays on bank reserves, which is still over 5%. So the markets are telling the Fed right now they want lower interest rates. The markets demand it. That's why you see the 10-year Treasury down over a point, 100 basis points. Same thing with the 2-year, 5-year. The markets already have low interest rates. And once again, the Fed is lagging, and that shows their crystal ball.
100 basis points, 0.10.
They need a new one.
All right, well.
Look at that. Oh, my God, it's at 394, and it's down 0.05. Shit. By the way, do you have any idea how much money you have to have in treasury bonds for this to matter? For that to be like, oh, fuck, 5 cents. For 5 cents to matter in this, you got to have fucking millions in that shit, if not billions.
The thinking last week at this time, before we got the employment report, was that, it was steady as she goes on inflation and all of that. And now we're not even thinking about inflation. We're worried about the economy collapsing. There's got to be a middle ground.
Are we?
Out here, where are we?
There's got to be a middle ground here. I don't think so. Nah. I mean, it either goes to the moon or it takes a giant raging shit, I would say. Hold on. I think Trump said something about the stock market.
The numbers should skyrocket downward.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, the economy would take care of itself fine. But unfortunately, you have a government now that is piling on regulations, a new one that might come in January that wants even more.
Wait a minute. They're piling on regulations, a new one that might come in January. What the fuck does that have to do with right now, stupid? Especially, all right.
Taxes. And you have a Federal.
Hold on. In regard to what?
Regulations, a new one that might come in January that wants even more taxes. And
a new regulation that might be coming in January that wants even more taxes. But Kamala Harris is a human being, not a human regulation. What the shit?
You have a Federal Reserve that still believes that prosperity causes inflation. What causes higher prices is when you have disruptions to production like we had during the lockdowns, or undermining the value of the dollar, unstable value of the dollar. Right now around the world, currencies are all weak. It's just a matter.
Are they? Currencies are. Is that the case, guys? Hang on one second. U.S. dollar index, I guess, with the. Yes. Yeah, that's that giant fluctuation in the U.S. dollar, which is currently worth $1.03. Now, hold it together, Hal. I'm fine. If I may. From how he's fucking talking, wouldn't it seem that the dollar is worth like 75 cents, right? The way they talk about it, right? Doesn't it sound like it? Now, there's a reason why you don't want the dollar to be worth too much and you don't want it overvalued in that regard because it makes consumer prices slightly higher. That kind of idea has been around for a long time. But listening to this asshole, it would sound like that the currencies are all over the fucking place and the dollar's now worth 75 cents. We're screwed. It's worth $1.03. It's been up as high as $1.06. Yeah, but what about the petrodollar? I don't know. Is that part of the plastic dollar, the pharma dollar, the wine dollar? Right. So here we go.
No matter which one is weaker than the other. Japan, which has a currency that is in very bad shape, the yen.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
Had a rally for a while, which led to the sell-off in the markets because of what they call the carry trade a few days ago. But the Japanese national debt, for example, proportionally is twice our own. And they still...
How's this? What the? How are you supposed to? This is the title is the key to Trump winning 2024, and in theory, you started off with this shit blaming not only Biden but stuff that might happen under Harris. Fuck this. What?
Still have a 10-year bond that yields less than 1%. So they're in a heck of a mess. So you look around the world, a lot of trouble out there, and the Fed.
Right. And we don't have that kind of trouble.
Is clueless to how to deal with it.
You know, Steve, I wonder if I could talk a little bit of politics here, because the money issue, the markets, if you argue that there is something to this old Trump trade, that they prefer him, all his volatilities notwithstanding.
That's adorable. All his volatilities notwithstanding. Oh, you mean chaos? Yeah.
But one of the things that strikes me as interesting, I talked to Larry Hogan, the former Republican governor of Maryland, running for Senate, and he's not too big a fan of when Donald Trump goes on these various tangents, either talking about Kamala Harris's race or getting in.
Really? Why not? I mean, who are you and who the fuck is he to question a lifetime winner like Donald Trump? You don't know. You don't know. What do you know? You don't know. How do you even? You don't even pretend to fucking know. Look, whatever tactic he uses is the right one.
Fights with the very popular governor, George. I want you to react to this and how he says it's hurting the party, maybe hurting its chances. Take a look.
I just don't think it's useful at all to have a Republican nominee for president attacking a Republican governor over some.
I don't know. I mean, that I don't know. It sounds like a perfect plan to me. It's worked before, except when it didn't.
Perceived slight from years ago. It's none of this stuff is helpful if you're.
Ouch! A perceived slight. Are you saying that the election wasn't stolen? You're about to catch some orange, man.
Trying to win an election.
Do you think Donald Trump is blowing it if he keeps this up?
I've heard him say he's going to focus on the issues, and that's sort of.
Say focus on the issues again. Say I've heard him say he'll focus on the issues again. Say it. Fucking say it. You shitting me? When's he going to do that? It's fucking 83 days to the election, dum-dum.
What I've been suggesting for quite a while, and I think a lot of.
Yeah? How have you been suggesting that he focus on the issue? Do you call him up on the phone and then bang the phone on the fucking table and then do the same thing with your goddamn head? Focus on the issues? Are you fucking nuts? Did you watch his shit yesterday? He can't even focus on the podium. He can't focus on the question. He's going to focus on the yeah. Why don't you just have fucking Chachi come on and tell him that he's great on the issues?
A lot of people in the party, although not everybody's speaking out, I think they would all like to see a campaign based on the issues that are important to Americans.
Oh, you mean so not Trump? Just say not Trump, motherfucker. Just say not Trump. Oh my God, sock nitty. Look at that. That almost made me happy for a second. And I can't be sweeter.
What do you think of that, Steve?
Well, I think after the...
Yeah, say think again, because it doesn't sound like you're doing a lot of thinking today.
A Democratic convention, assuming that doesn't blow up like it did in Chicago in 1968. And
you're trying to do it. Yeah, buddy. You can really hope that somebody gets shot in the street. I guess that's the one thing you're hoping will salvage this shit storm you find yourself in.
Kamala Harris gets the expected bump. The president and the vice president, they're just starting to, are going to be sharply focused on the economy, on the real issues of what concern people. The fact they have no faith in the future. The prices are still way higher than they were 4 years ago. And
yet people are going out to restaurants, and yet people are going out to the movies, and yet people are going out to concerts in huge fucking numbers. Huge! Jesus Christ, man. Have you been to I went to the fucking mall the other day. I mean, I work outside a bakery part-time. It's how I, pay for the rest of my wardrobe besides the cup, which I manage to just, I'm very frugal with the, with my paper cups so that they stick in there. I could get 3-4 days out of this, but that's not the point. Have you been to a mall lately? There's fucking people in them again. Think about that. Say think again, you dumb motherfucker.
Get this economy moving again. So you're going to be talking about tax cuts. You're going to be talking about getting...
No, you're not. No, you're not, stupid. They're not going to be talking about tax cuts. They're not going to be talking about tax cuts. They're going to be talking about jobs. They're going to talk about people working and being able to start a business, and they're going to lower the interest rate, and people are going to be able to borrow money to start a business, and that's what's going to... They're not going to be talking about fucking tax cuts, stupid. No, that's what you want them to talk about? Fuck you.
Control of the border, getting control of spending,
and not about all this other nonsense. Not about all this other nonsense, right?
No, the issues that matter.
What do you mean other nonsense? Like Trump's crowd size? That other nonsense? What do you think? You're not going to talk about Trump's the sanctity of marriage?
To people. And one of the slogans I wish they'd use is, if they're elected, Donald Trump and Vance, they'll let you keep your car. They'll let you keep an air conditioning that works, a dishwasher that works, and all these crazy...
Yeah, that's great. That'll work. Yeah, so hold on. Let me write this shit down, you dumb fucker. So, if you elect Trump and Vance, we'll let you keep your pants. Even when they're full of shit. Because we're what's it. Boom. That won't fit. I'm going to scratch that shit out. So, a dishwasher. What'd you say? You said fucking... This fucking guy. Dishwasher will let you keep your car. What if they don't? Then what if it's their version of you get to keep your doctor under the ACA? Then what? Fuckhead. Then what? You can keep your car. We're not going to do anything about gas prices because we can't. So, fuck you. And then a dishwasher that works? God damn. I'm starting to lose my boner just thinking about this list.
Regulations they keep piling on. So those kinds of issues will resonate with people. And that's how you're going to win the election. Focusing on...
Yeah, focus on... We're going to let people keep their dishwasher. And then when a reporter comes up and says, "Hey, Harris, if that's your real name, why are you trying to take away people's dishwasher?" And she's going to go, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And then they'll go, "Harris swore at me when I asked a dumb question. Does she have the temperament as a woman to be president?" Fucking man. Go back to Santa Cruz, you vampire bastard. Thank you. And scene. Steve Forbes, everybody. Just a huge, huge waste of time with a giant portfolio. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Please, if you can, and that kind of thing. Now, this is Fox News. Who's this? Aisha Hasni provides takeaways from former President Trump's Thursday's press conference as he pressures Kamala. Okay, this is going to be good. Hit that like, throw the show around, subscribe, memberships. I saw the memberships happen. That's amazing. And oh my God, Sock Nitty, bless you so. And Charlie Blue, thank you so much. And Cheryl, Nelson Vlogs, thanks for all you do for us. Here's something toward your new computer. Thank you so much. Bless you. All right, now let's go to this shit. Good Lord. Fucking hell. All right, real quick. So critics noticed something about Kamala rallies. What a robot. Really?
Trump holds on an hour-long press conference yesterday, at least, while Vice President Harris took questions from reporters.
Also, I got to say, if you're going to presume to support this guy and presume to be against this young lady, I would suggest that you shouldn't show the video of her walking over looking like a fucking boss and show a picture of him trying to figure out how to work a gooseneck microphone on his shitty golf podium. Just saying. This is a tech tip.
For 60 seconds after dodging the press for 18 days.
Aisha Heisley was at that press conference. She had the opportunity to ask the former president some questions, and she's live at Palm Beach right now. Hey, Aisha.
Hey, Aisha. Also, thanks for standing right near the fountain, because more than likely, because you're at Mar-a-Lago, a plane is going to go overhead, and we'll have to deal with both of those sound issues.
Should have asked him if he plays the clarinet. I think the race would be over if we could just figure out if one of them plays the clarinet. It's over. Yeah.
I gotta say that's got to be a reference to something else. Maybe it's a Woody Allen thing.
So, look, Trump in this press conference, guys, was trying to prove that he is the most transparent candidate, that he is the most accessible candidate, trying to paint the split screen with him and Kamala Harris, and really trying to put this.
By the way, if you complain that she didn't really answer any questions or whatever, neither did he, and she did it in 90 seconds, so at least she's not a fucking waste of time.
Pressure campaign on her to face the cameras because he believes that is her number one weakness. I think a campaign.
No. You know what's funny? In thinking that, he showed his number one weakness, and that he will seek reporters and a camera even if he is not prepared and has nothing to fucking say. That is a bigger weakness. She's building tension towards, they're going to, like, she'll have one of the most watched interviews in ages because she's building up that time. That has a lot to do with it. And she's doing plenty of shit anyways. She doesn't have to do it. They know what the policies are. It's on her website, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to make reporters talk more about her. And then when she finally has the interview, it'll be exclusive.
An official yesterday told me that.
Yes, elusive in the press leads to exclusive. See?
Biden's weakness was walk.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I just gotta say that was on my part.
Hers is talking. So that is the strategy.
I'm sorry. I gotta throw something up even in that. Hold on one second. Woof. Where in the world? What the fuck? This is. I gotta put this up, ladies and gentlemen. My bad. I should, I have, they went straight to an angle yesterday at the very least. They covered his nut with a microphone. He was standing kind of directly lined up, so we really didn't have to see it a couple of times, but woof. It's just rough. Also, I would like to point out that, hold on, oh, sorry. I want to point out something, and I apologize for this image as well. Let's see. He, I don't know if you noticed this, but Trump now has the exact same. Let me find a good shot of it so I can show you. Yeah. Trump now has the exact same skin tone. This is a little darker image. You'll have to forgive me. As Dan Aykroyd in Nothing But Trouble. Same kind of. He's getting the same spots. Let me find a lighter picture so I can show you what I mean. Fix up them dogs the way I do. Yeah, this is a better one. Hold on. This is a picture of. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a picture of Trump without his makeup on fully, but this is him at Mar-a-Lago enjoying the. He's a big fan of the omelet bar, but this is part of the hot dog bar they have there. Fix up them dogs the way I do. So this is, if you'll notice, there's a. This day is coming, Donald. This day is coming. And it's not that far away. As a matter of fact, I think his hair is more real than yours is, and he's wearing prosthetics. I'm not wrong. Just saying, skin tone wise, even the spots around the ears and the head are now like the sides of the head right here, the age spots. He's got makeup on. It's a lighter tone, but it's covering up the age spots on him. Yeah.
Here trying to get her to face the cameras. He also yesterday addressed reporting that he's been frustrated with his campaign as new polling shows that Harris has taken a small lead, but the
That's what? Sorry. Now you've done it. Now he's going to be mad at Fox for a month.
Trump team is calling that a honeymoon period that will go away as soon as she opens her mouth.
Yeah, she's been speaking.
She's not doing any news conference. You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how.
Neither can you, dipshit. But we don't mind you doing this because you sound like an asshole. This, by the way, this press conference is part of the reason why, like, a bunch of right wingers, including Joe Rogan, have stepped away from him. It was this of all the shit this motherfucker has done. This is the last straw.
How to do a news conference. She's not smart enough to do a news conference.
So the pressure campaign, it seems.
You're not smart enough not to do one. What does that tell you?
To be working, Harris has now agreed to the first presidential debate moderated by ABC on September 10th. And
that was already on the books. She'd already said that.
She finally spoke to reporters, us, on the tarmac in Michigan shortly after Trump's press conference.
Glad that he's finally agreed to a debate. I'm looking forward to it and hope he shows up.
Are you open to more debate?
I am happy to have that conversation about an additional debate for after September 10th.
When you're going to sit down for your first interview since being the nominee? Do you have any update on that?
I've talked to my team. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month.
Okay, so
which is like 2 weeks.
We'll wait to see if that actually happens because Politico is reporting that according to two people familiar with the campaign's thinking, this is the Harris campaign's thinking, there are ongoing discussions right now about doing a joint interview with Harris and Walz, her running mate, prior to the convention, which of course begins in about a week in Chicago. But other staffers have also told that news organization that they may actually want to stall until after Labor Day weekend because they don't really feel that it's very necessary to do a national interview when she can just get on the ground and engage with voters directly in these swing
yeah, exactly.
states. Guys?
Is there any frustration amongst the
There is some frustration in the group, in Trump's, like, what does he call it, his rebuttal group?
Press corps? I mean, they were aggressive against Joe Biden after the debate, and you saw a lot of reporting there talking about his stability, what's going on behind the scenes. But it looks like they pulled back a little bit. So I'm just curious, what do you...
You mean on Trump? Yeah, absolutely. They weren't harsh with Trump at all. He lied right to their fucking face, and they didn't do anything.
You hear it?
There's always frustration, Lawrence, when we can't get answers or can't even ask a question. But I think that's why you noticed that pool reporter on the tarmac there, that was, I think, the second or third question right after getting to the debate. The immediate question after wasn't about policy, wasn't about the economy, wasn't about Trump. It was, when are you going to talk to us? When are you going to have this first interview? And that tells you everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tells you how self-involved the reporters are and are trying to, I guess, work to push that their network should be in line for that, would be the idea.
Aisha, thanks.
I mean, I didn't know who it was, so.
And by the way, that's an insult to the American people because the media is asking the questions ostensibly that the people out there, the voters out there want asked.
Correct.
So when
Oh, yeah? Yeah? And so if Trump lies to those reporters, he's lying to the people, is what you're saying?
you blow off the press.
Also, apparently the public seems to like what she's doing because her fucking rallies are full.
You might say, oh, I blew off Fox or CNN or MSNBC. What you're doing is you're telling the American people, you don't need to know. Right. We'll handle it. You don't need to know. And we have President Biden right now on the beach in Rehoboth while we have tenuous people. The Middle East is a tinderbox.
It is.
And we
the tinderbox.
We have a lot of explanations on what the Fed's going to be doing and what's happening with the economy.
Well,
they feel like they don't have to talk to the American people.
They've made a
they're literally talking to the American people. She's literally like barnstorming the country.
calculation. They've decided the
Trump disappeared for a week, but she's right.
risk of her
messing up in
Right.
this final hour. Remember, nobody gets a chance to become president with no primary
Right.
and only 90 days. You know, they're like trying to run out the clock.
Well, almost every other country does that has a president. Usually we're the only ones that drag the shit out for a long time. So most do, actually.
So the risk to them is too high. But the risk to the voters of putting somebody as the CEO of this country without having asked them any policy question. Remember, on this thing, she's saying, what, you know, why won't you? What do you think of Trump?
But,
Like,
but
what
I'll
do you think
tell
of
you
your policies?
I'll tell you exactly what she's saying. The same thing over and over again. Listen to this.
It really is good to be back in Wisconsin. It is so good to be back in Michigan. Listen, let me tell you, I am clear. The path to the
It's a stump speech, stupid.
White House runs right through this state. And listen, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. I took on perpetrators
Yeah, it's a stump speech, and she's in swing states, stupid.
of all kinds.
Yeah, good point, Francie. This country is not a business. She's not the CEO of the fucking country. You know why? And it's for there's an ambulance to the White House. Biden's not even at the White House. That's interesting. Hold on. The back up. I'll look that up. Give me 1 second. There's so many people who work there. I wouldn't be surprised. White House. Yeah, because he's not here. He's not there. A staffer. Emergency medical personnel arrived at the West Wing, White House on Thursday to attend an emergency regarding a staffer on the National Security Council. They were seen bringing a stretcher into the building to assist the staffer involved. Staffer had a medical issue, but is doing fine and being taken to the hospital out of a precaution. A White House spokesperson told The Hill, "There's a medical emergency at the White House right now. Sarah Sanders informed us that a staffer has suffered a seizure and is being taken for evaluation by ambulance from the West Wing doors. Secret Service has pushed the media back from our usual position." Oh, that's old. Hold on. That's different. That's 2018. 1 second. Let me go back. That was in 2018. That was when Trump was president. Yeah, this is too new. Hold on. I'll look in the. Give me 1 second. I was like, Sarah Sanders. What the hell? I looked up the first one that came up. Boy. Yeah, Sarah Huckabee Sanders used to be the spokesperson there. Let's see. I'll look up White House ambulance. That'll do it. Fire trucks and an ambulance have just showed up at the White House. Several areas have been closed off unknown reasons. Breaking several emergency vehicles pulled up. Fire trucks and an ambulance have shown up at the White House. Multiple entrances have been blocked off. Police in Derry are attending. Oh, maybe somebody did themselves in and whatever. See. Yeah, because again, Biden's in Rehoboth, so. 2 fire trucks, ambulance, and 2 police cars outside the White House just now. It might be somebody outside the White House who did something. We'll find out in a minute. Is that okay? No, that's it. That's all we got so far. Okay, I'll check back in if necessary, but because it's what I do in the greatest live stream in the history of the world. So, boom, Hal Sparks Megaworldwide. That's right, Hal Sparks. Hal Sparks. That's me. I'm Hal Sparksing right now. Also, speaking about yourself in the third person is something I learned from Hal Sparks that Hal Sparks must learn to do, because if you're Hal Sparksing, what better time than when you're being Hal Sparks. So I'm just going to use all the rhetorical tricks that Trump uses, tongue in cheek, and you watch, it'll help. It's ridiculous. Okay. You'll be in Rehoboth in 2 weeks? I want to go.
Took on perpetrators of all kinds and had a summer job at McDonald's. I had a summer job at McDonald's. So hear me when I say.
By the way, has Fox ever done this with the repetitious bullshit, like the repetitive bullshit that Trump has said? Good Lord.
So hear me, Detroit, when I say I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type.
I gotta say, I you know how I was saying earlier when they were showing the picture of her walking up to the press and she looked badass and he was fiddling with his mic and looked like a dickhead? I have to say, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but if I was to guess, one of the ways that somebody at Fox who didn't like Trump would appear to go after Kamala Harris while actually attacking him is to play her attacks against him and the things she's saying on repeat, because they're not fact checking these things, they're just showing the same stump speech over and over again. And that's what ads do. A lot of times they take the stump speech and they take a piece of it and they put it in the ad and then they try to play it repetitively so it gets in people's heads. So I want to thank the editor / subversive that's working at Fox News that is slapping these things together and going, yeah, this'll show her. And then they play it and people are like, damn, she had a job at McDonald's, summer job at McDonald's. She seems nice or whatever. She's a prosecutor and he's a perpetrator. I see. And so she knows his type because he's a criminal. It's a point. It's a point. You know what I mean? Like, this is, I don't think this is helping the way they think it is.
And are we ready to fight for it? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.
Yeah, it's the ending phrase. Good Lord.
This is unbelievable. Same thing.
What a robot. What a robot.
There is no...
What a robot. What a robot. Yeah. Versus Trump, who's what, a glitching robot?
No ad-libbing. She is just...
I'm sorry, I tore the baby in half. Like,
keep into this. You're telling me that I may have disagreed with President Barack Obama, but the dude could speak. He could go out there, rally a crowd together, and they're...
You could also take his stump speech and do the exact same fucking thing. Stupid. Do you not know that? Are you that dumb? For fuck's sake, man. The only one you couldn't do it with is when his mom died, or his grandmother died, and he wept.
The former president, Barack Obama, come on, no one is buying this. Another thing that they're doing is, okay, she's not talking to the public. She's doing these canned speeches over and over. That means her first big moment is going to be giving an acceptance speech at the DNC. If she doesn't crush it, it's over for her.
Dude, have you seen how capable she is with a teleprompter? Do you notice how she's crushing it with this one? Maybe she's not talking to the press because she's busy crushing it. Jesus Christ. Try harder. Even Kilmeades is like, huh?
It's over. She'll
crush. She can do a speech.
Look at that. Oh, fuck. That's like, even Kilmeade. It's like he didn't know how to look at him. Listen to what Kilmeade said. Oh, yeah, she'll crush it. She can give a speech. Looking at him like a dumbass.
It's over for her. It's over. She'll
crush. She can do a speech.
Big moment.
She'll do a speech.
Look at that. Yeah, she can. Yeah, it's fine. You know, and Ducey's sitting there like, fuck, I'm surrounded by morons. But if I leave, they'll fire my son.
Really punch it. I mean, she can't deliver that speech at the DNC.
No,
it has to be.
Oh my God, asshole! The big lines are being basically rehearsed on the stump. They'll all be in there, and then she'll give a slightly larger speech, and Joe Biden will give a speech defending her, and Walz will be charming and tell you to mind your damn business, and it's going to be fucking awesome, stupid. If she doesn't, get the fuck out of here.
No, she's going to deliver, but she's going to have a teleprompter. Remember, Lawrence, this is the TTV campaign. Teleprompter, TikTok, and The View. That is all they're going to do, and she's going to deliver a teleprompter speech. It will be good. It'll be written by other people. She'll be fine. The question is...
Right. That most written speeches are written by other people with, input from the candidate always. But most people have speechwriters, including Barack Obama.
Can she speak extemporaneously?
Right. Can she sit down with, you haven't been to the border? Can she do the follow-up question and just said that?
Yes, she can. You know how she'll do it? he'll go, what are you going to do about the border? And she goes, well, that's why I went to Brazil. That's why I went to Venezuela. That's why I went to Guatemala. That's why I flew down there to stop it where it starts, as opposed to wait until it comes here. So it's a problem at our border where we're dealing with the overworked asylum system without being able to, without Congress being able to change the definition of what qualifies as asylum. We're having to accept more and more people because it'd be a violation of both our Constitution and international law. So we're trying to stop it where it starts, which is what Trump never thought of doing. And then we put together a bill that would fix this. We put together a bill that would change the asylum definition. We put together a bill that would eliminate people's ability to bullshit their way over the border. And Trump tells his party to kill it. That's the answer. She didn't have to say bullshit, edit that out. But that's it. That's the answer. And you don't think she knows that, you dipshit? Fucking hell, this idiot.
The 12 things that she used to believe that she doesn't believe. Why don't you believe it?
Sure, because when she sat down with
I don't know. Ask Trump why he used to be pro-choice.
Holt last year, that was a disaster. And I'm sure the people in the campaign are thinking, the risk, it's all about risk and reward. Yes. The reward is...
Hey, asshole, real quick. I'll tell you about risk and reward. You're risking a future with zero reward right now, so shut the fuck up. By the way, nice orange tie. It matches old Trump. But I would like to say for the record, one of the reasons why her Lester Holt interview last year wasn't that good is because she was speaking as the vice president on behalf of the Biden administration. And so she's there to convey in her secondary position what she thinks the administration is doing as a whole and carry those talking points, which is very different from your own campaign and your own ideas and your vision for the future. Now, is she in alignment with what Biden wants and says most of the time? Abso-fucking-lutely. Would she flavor it differently or speak differently when she's talking about her own plan? Of course. That's why it'll be a much better interview this time. That's how it works. The vice president is always dovetailing behind whatever languaging the president is using or the rest of the vice president, except for, in one case, that didn't happen. That was Joe Biden, and he would constantly get out over his skis. And people would castigate him for it in the Obama administration.
Great if she goes out and does a good job. The risk is she becomes Katie Couric interviews Sarah Palin, and that was a disaster. Mm-hmm. That just...
Really? You think she's Sarah Palin? Normally, I wouldn't show up twice a show because I got shit to do, okay? But this motherfucker is working my last sprinkle because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about where a prosecutor who becomes a DA, who becomes the AG, who becomes the vice president, compares to a fucking shillbilly like Sarah Palin with her fake country bullshit where she can see whatever Russia from her fucking porch. You think this is going to be that kind of... Let me tell you something. There's one distinct difference. Say distinct again, motherfucker. Say distinct again. I will. One distinct difference between Kamala Harris and Sarah Palin. Kamala Harris can fucking read. Sarah Palin.
It's pretty bad. Sarah Palin was doing pretty well until that interview, and then it was just right in the...
Was she? Was she now? What if she hadn't been asked about reading ever, she would have been just fine?
The gutter.
And the debate, we know one debate the president will have a shot to unmask or find out where the depth is.
Well, we know what happened during her last debate, and it didn't go so well.
A couple of them did, though. Yeah. Early on, she did okay with 7 people on the stage.
Well, when she took him
Tulsi
out,
Gabbard.
when it came to, and then Tulsi took her out.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Tulsi took her out because she had already entered that I'm not here to fight Democrats, but Tulsi Gabbard was there to fight Democrats. That was the entire purpose of her fucking presidential run. It had nothing to do with actually becoming president. It was about denigrating and chipping away at Democrats. It's what she's been doing the whole time. Now, where is it? This is, yeah, where did I? Yeah, okay. I think I did this. Hold on. I need to see this for myself. I know I don't have that much time left, but I'm throwing this in anyways. Hit the like, subscribe, etc., etc., etc. I will say it again, and I will say it always. You people are being very wonderful, and where did it go? Hold on. Where is the thing? No, that looks terrible. Oh, this is better. Hold on. Hi. That's awful. Hi. No. Hey. Hello. What were you looking for, man? Just fucking do it. Just let me in here so I can say a thing or two. You got that Gorka fella coming up right now, and I gotta say, he turns my fucking stomach. I don't know. He looks like a principal at a middle school who gets arrested for magazines that were found under his filing cabinet. I'll show you right now. Here, we'll click over and look at that. There he is. There's that Gorka. And apparently, she's from Minneapolis, or the Minneapolis generalized area, and he's Minnesota governor, and he was nice to her. And that's the problem that he has. This guy is going to Brighton ticket. Gorka eviscerates shit. Eviscerates walls for praising Omar. Wow, on Newsmax, Newsline, News to Me. That should be the name of their channel. Here we go. So what say we all visit? Hold on. There should be don't you have like a big Britishy fucker in there somewhere? I feel like you should have a big dude. Hi everybody, this is Ficus, by the way. It's nice to meet you. Nice to make your acquaintance. I got to see that JoJo from Jersey's friend Becky Sue earlier today. I was very happy about that. Woohoo! So, anyways, let me just say like and subscribe. I think. There we go. All right, now let's see what Gorka has. Oh, I need hold on one second. That's what I need. Something like that. Let's see. The good, you know. I don't have a prison vagina look. I don't know if I can actually say this to anyone, but I don't like Gorka. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I don't like him. I think he's a nasty person. He's very nasty. Trump likes to use the word nasty, but I'm telling you it's because he's been around Gorka, and that smell would strip the fucking hair off a goat. Don't forget. All right. Now, here we go. Gorka.
Let's talk a little bit more about the pressure now that
is a little bit more. When did she turn into Jiminy Glick?
For Kamala to answer questions, seeing that there is no policy on her campaign website. Pleased to have White House advisor to the Trump administration and the host, of course, of the Gorka Reality Check right here on Newsmax, Sebastian Gorka. Hi, Seb. Great to see you this Friday.
Gorka!
Thanks for being with me.
Thanks for having me. Happy Friday, Bianca.
Happy Friday. So many
Happy Friday, Bianca.
excuses. So Donald Trump
I don't like her. She's a woman of color.
Goes into, hostel rooms. He has press come into his home. And here's
his home? He doesn't live at Mar-a-Lago, you dumbass. It's a rental property.
Aides on the Harris side spinning. Well, there's this fractured media landscape and the trust in traditional news outlets falling. They're saying that they want to do TikTok and social media. She has no policy. The Middle East could flare up any moment. And
yeah, but she's not president yet. She's vice president, and that's up to we have a sitting president. If it flares up any second, that will be under the current president. She has to hand it off. If it's continuing to flare up, perhaps she'll have an ointment policy.
Do they think they're going to run out the clock? It seems like now they know they may have to do at least one sit down and maybe more than one debate.
Yeah, let's just do a side by side. My former boss in Mar-a-Lago, as you said, his home yesterday, invited the lions into his den.
The lions? Oh, right, because he was lying to them. I got it.
He spoke for over an hour, and he took 42 questions from just inimical forces that were hostile to him. And Kamala Harris, what has it been, 19 days since she became the quote-unquote selected nominee for the Democrats? Not one press conference.
Well, that quote is from you guys.
She spoke for 18 seconds on the tarmac last Sunday when our prisoners were returned. And it was a disastrous word salad. She was challenged yesterday, and she actually said, we will schedule an interview by the end of the month. What, like in 3 weeks' time, you're going to do an interview?
Yeah, they're going to do it by the end of it. They're prepping for, she's now the candidate. She became the candidate quickly. She's now got to do the DNC in like a week and a half. They have another speech, and they got a bunch of stumps to do, and they're barnstorming. There's no purpose to it. There's a bunch of reasons why in September, maybe even October, she would do a lot of interviews leading up, if it's necessary. But doing it right now, these guys, okay, let me tell you why these guys are pissed that she's not doing press right now. Because, and by the way, she has no reason to do press right now. She's literally campaigning right now. They have 90 days to do a year-long campaign, basically, and they're cramming it all in. They're working on the stump. They're working on what her speech at the DNC will be. They're pressing the flesh and going everywhere. She's meeting with the UAW. She's talking to these folks on the phone and getting their endorsements and stuff like that. So she does that all fucking day, and then she does a couple of speeches, and then she does actual VP shit because she's still the VP of the country, right? She's still got to get her briefing. She's got to do all that kind of stuff. This is all happening at once. So the only reason these assholes want her to do an interview is because they want her to say something extemporaneously. They're hoping she says something extemporaneously that is worded wrong or that is off ever so slightly that they can therefore use to print ads. They want her to fuck up one sentence. That's all we need. Just give us one fucking sentence. Something to jump on. Because we got nothing. I'm dead serious. This is why they're mad. This is why they're pushing this. It's arguably why they were doing it with Biden as well, but that's specifically why they're doing it with her. And if she does one and it's flawless, which it will be, they'll go, she didn't say anything. What about this and what about that? Okay, no, they have normal problems with it no matter what she does. But they'll go, but she was only talking to this person. She only talked to ABC, or she only spoke to CNN or something like that. She won't talk to hostile people. And then she sits down. She needs to just sit down with fucking Laura Ingraham or Hannity or some shit or fucking Jesse Waters. She's got to do a sit down with them, hoping that if she did, they would be able to provoke her into saying something that they could use in an ad or build some sort of attack scheme off of, because they don't have one. That's what it is. The reason, and they're trying to goad her into doing multiple sit downs just so that they can try to farm a clip out of them. Because right now, they got fucking nothing. And if you want any more proof that I am absolutely fucking right again about this, which I always am, you're welcome, it's the fact that Fox just ran the side-by-side of her doing her stump speech, and we're comparing them line to line and read for read, and that was their biggest castigation against her. That's the only footage they have to work with, is her successfully and eloquently and forcefully delivering her stump speech. That's why. And they can't do anything with it, because it works. The message is good. She sounds terrific. That's why Kilmeade was all freaking out. That's why Kilmeade's like, she gives a great speech. What are you talking about? Like, this will be fine. She's going to nail it. They're fucked. They know it. What they're trying to do is get her to slip up. And that the only way this is going to slip up if she does, they think, is if she does a hostile interview with somebody, or George Stephanopoulos pushes her on a point 3 times, or comes back around to the same dipshittery, and they can find some way to crowbar what she said into meaning the opposite of what she said. That's all this is about. This is why they're so fucking mad.
Interview with the press? It's absolutely shocking. And just to top it all off, the cherry on top of the sundae is when JD, like a boss, walks over to Air Force Two and stops.
Like a boss? You mean like a stalker? It was fucking creepy.
By the journalists that say, hey guys, aren't you a little miffed that Kamala doesn't want to talk to you guys? They're like stony silence.
Yeah, well, she needs to start answering some questions, as we mentioned. And
does she? Like what? Some questions. What are they? What? I mean, she just became the nominee. I'm sure she's having meetings every day about her policy papers, how they would be different. She's not going to just cut and paste what the Biden administration had done, right? She didn't want to do that. So they've got to go through the wording. That's going to take, I mean, campaigns take weeks, if not months, to develop this stuff and put it up on the website, right? And that's what she's doing right now, leading up to the DNC. I guarantee when the DNC launches, they're going to put all of the whatever the plan is, however they're going to flavor it. If they're certainly not going to name it like Project 2025 or Agenda 47 or any of that shit. They're just going to put her policies up there and refer to them in ads and other stuff. So they go KamalaHarris.com so that people know, HarrisForAmerica.com or whatever it is to drive them to that. But she doesn't have to do any of that shit right now. As a matter of fact, there's a good reason why she doesn't have stuff up on theirs, because, again, she's not cutting and pasting, and she wants to word it as her own candidate's point of view.
Donald Trump off the top there saying she's incapable of it. I mean, she kind of just got into a little bit of something where her folks had to walk back a potential demand of report of a demand of Israel arms embargo. None of that. And let's talk for a moment about Tim Walz. Now there's a new report.
You mean the no bunker busters?
Only about stolen valor. Oh, wait, the Muslim cleric he's hosting. This guy was celebrating October 7th attacks. He's sharing press releases from Hamas. I mean, again, this man's character is so disturbing, and you have to wonder if they missed some of this in the vetting.
I don't know if
what is this? By the way, she's like this like Muslim imam that he was like talking to was like cheering on Hamas, and look at the Chiron. Tim Walz has deep ties to China.
They did anybody. They just knew they had to throw the Jewish governor on the bus because
that's the constant talking point about Shapiro.
Pro-Hamas, pro-jihadis in Minnesota.
Well, they also do have a problem. I will say, for the record, that. There is a right-wing douchebag named Shapiro, and this, he'll be less of a factor in a couple of cycles, but he might be a name check problem for anybody. You know what I mean? It's like if let's say we had a Democrat named Trump who was just fucking amazing. I'm just saying they wouldn't have a shot.
They're not going to vote for her. So look at the paper trail. They've already deleted the title Command Sergeant Major from Kamala Harris's website. What does that tell you? This is going to be huge. That pro-jihadi imam that is associated with, he as governor gave his organization more than $100,000.
Yes.
I don't think he can run from any of this. And the stolen valor, I carried a M16 in war. Which war? You deployed to Italy. Were you carrying your M16 as you sipped that cappuccino in the Palazzo?
So everybody who deployed to Italy during Desert Storm or in training in NATO and stuff was sipping cappuccinos. Yes, everybody who served like he did stole valor.
So this is the typical Democrat lying to your face and using service to the nation just to further his political career. This could.
So 24 years with the idea that as a social studies teacher, he was definitely going to run for Congress. So he decided a quarter of a century earlier to set this up.
Get him in big trouble.
Yeah, I agree. And
Nope.
Person that he hosted also has all these posts about glorifying Adolf Hitler, the name that mainstream likes to throw around with Donald Trump. This clip is also weird too. So,
well, I mean, I will say that Nick Fuentes is big pissed at Trump right now.
like Waltz is talking about how he goes out for runs and he's all active, and if he's in a bad mood or if he's feeling down and depressed, folks, this, Seb, is what will lift his spirits. Let's play this wild clip.
When I'm having a tough day or I'm out on about mile 5 of my run and I'm feeling kind of down and the world's pressing on me, I think Ilhan Omar's a congresswoman, and it just brightens you up. So thank you.
Just brightens you up.
Wow. Who could think that besides her voters?
Yeah, that was my reaction.
Wow. I don't think that guy's ever run anywhere unless he's had a bout of diarrhea. I mean, look, seriously, I know I've got a little salt and pepper in my beard, but, that guy's 6 years older than me. Just 6 years older than me.
Yeah.
He looks like he's, 20, 30 years older than me. This is the guy who's going
60,
to brighten the ticket.
It's a hard 60. Well, he did do 24 years in the military.
That is. And then what about his wife who said she liked the smell of burning tires as they were burning?
She did not say she liked the smell of burning tires. She just wanted to keep it as real as she could and be aware of what was actually happening and not just shut it off.
Burning the cities to the ground?
Oh, I know. Well,
And even Newsmax is like, cut. By the way, this is the top line attack, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they got. Yeah, this is attack the dude for his age and his weight or how old he looks. And by the way, I gotta say, if you asked me, but for the gene that affects balding, Gorka looks the same age as Waltz, if not older. Hold on, let's see there. Yeah. I mean, Gorka is 6 years younger than him? Wait, that means Gorka is my age. How old is Sebastian Gorka? Wait a second. Fuck, he's younger than I am. Sebastian Gorka was born in 1970. He's a year younger than me. This dude is a year younger than me. But, dude, you want to throw stones at him? We'll see what both of us look like in 6 years. Sorry, in your case, 7 years. Let me tell you something. Again, it's the years, not the mileage, but good Lord. That dude, he's younger than I am. You know who else is younger than me? Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Open image, a new tab. There you go. You know who also is younger than me? This dude. This dude is 5 years younger than me. Yeah. Just for the record. 5 years younger than me, 1 year younger than me. This dude is 5 years younger than me. And he sells supplements for your health. For your health. Just saying. Yeah. How old is Kellyanne Conway? She's the same age as the Wicked Witch of the East. Yeah. Alex Jones is 5 years younger than I am. Yeesh. Can I drive 55? You damn straight, Pam Johnston, I can. I mean, I try to slow down to it as much as possible. Yeah. So, real quick, thank you guys for watching today. I mean, what else choice did you have? It is the greatest live stream in the history of the world, Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, where people really come to see as much Hal Sparks as I can Hal Sparks in a Hal Sparks afternoon while I'm Hal Sparksing as Hal Sparks. So, tell your friends about Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide and tell them they need more Hal Sparks in their life. As a matter of fact, I think I might make a new T-shirt today that just says Hal Sparks, Hal Sparks, Hal Sparks, Hal Sparks, Hal Sparks. I think it behooves me me to start doing a real marketing scheme, and I've always hated those assholes that talk about themselves in third person or who are endlessly self-promoting, but God damn it, you can't argue with success. So from now on, Hal Sparks will Hal Sparks to his Hal Sparks' content, and fuck you if you don't like it, and that goes double for the kidney.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
That is true. That is absolutely true. But only because it's a part of the greatest one, not just in the world, not just in the country, but in the state of Wyoming. It's you. Sorry. I slobbered on my shirt. It's not good. Thanks, everybody. Like and subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow. Radio shows at 9 a.m. Pacific time. The Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. Okay, credits are coming. Sorry, it took me a second. I don't know why.